What's going on, everybody? It's the Crypto Wonder, your host of the Crypto Wonder podcast. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. And let's get right into it. And before I begin, I'd like to say one thing. And it's I think it's important. When you see a content creator's work, right? And you appreciate the work that the content creator is displaying, the message that's being delivered, basically the work that was expended to create whatever it is that you're watching or you're listening to. Understand that when they say like, share, and subscribe, it may sound cliche, but it means a lot. And if you find it in your heart to do something a little more, talk about the content creator's work, right? Share the information with someone you care about. Because if you enjoy what you're listening to, perhaps someone who is around you who may have the same interests that you have may enjoy it too. I mean, as simple as that. And if it's good information that you're hearing, on whatever level, why don't you allow that to multiply? Talk about it. There's so many things that's going on in life, right? So if you find joy, share the joy. It only makes sense to me in my mind. So, and with respect to, well, let me start with what I'm going to talk about. With respect to crypto, right? Some of the things that I've been talking about recently, let me explain why I am not crazy about Zen token, right? Now, it's not because of the actual token that I don't like. It's not the fact that, Mr. Jack, Levin, did something or didn't do something. It's like, it's not anything personal. But to me, that token for some reason was sort of like the straw that broke a certain camel's back in my mind. Because, see, in crypto, if you're in it for a while, you'll come across so many people that will sell you their intangible ideas and try to persuade you and convince you that their ideas are golden enough for you to believe that if you buy into whatever that they're trying to sell you or convince you to buy, you will have the gold too. That's how it's been in crypto. That's how it is today. And that's how it will be in the future. Right? And it just so happens that with this last and the latest news of this week, because it's just been this week, it's been Zen taking the charge in the hype. So it could have been anything else. It could have been something called Blue Marble. It could have been something called Leaf Token. It could have been Gatecoin, whatever. Right? For a person like me, simple person, I'm a simple guy. There's nothing special, ordinary person. Just trying to find a way to navigate through the crypto streets and try to remain sound and remain whole, right? Because I made a lot of mistakes in crypto personally. Like, I lost a lot. But it was through those losses that I've learned from my mistakes. And since then, I learned to reduce my level of FOMO, my level of the craving to get into something and dreaming and fantasizing about how this might be the one. Because that's all a part of FOMO. That's all a part of this game in crypto, right? And in the beginning of my experience with crypto, I used to really go hard in trying to, like, call people out for the scams that they're creating. I used to call promoters out for the fact that they were shilling trash to the people. People would buy into whatever they were selling because they liked them. Just because they liked their content, they liked what they talked about, and if they liked them and they talked about something, people would gravitate to whatever it is that they were shilling and end up getting wrecked, and folks would have absolutely zero recourse to reclaim everything they lost, And so here we are, repeating the same events over and over again. It's just something that happens in crypto. It happens all the time. It's how you respond to it that's key, right? Here we are. I see more and more people talking about Zen. Because why? Because there's a countdown, right? In the next couple days, it'll be, I guess, launched, and folks will have their chance to participate, right? But the thing about it is that people fail to remember sometimes. When you get caught in the moment, your judgment is cloudy, and you forget certain things that are important until the dust settles, and you're like, wow, hopefully you are whole and possibly even in profit rather than wrecked. The thing that people sometimes forget is the fact that the chances of you winning, like, a slow nickel always beats a fast dime. Many people think that if they have a certain strategy, that they will become successful with whatever's about to come out. In this case, it's Zen, right? They think that this will be the chance for them to make $1 million. Believe it or not. In the middle of a bear market, people are clamoring, getting all their ducks in a row, all their affairs together to try to exercise their fingers to push the right buttons to allow their bots to work, or those who are unfortunate and don't have any bots, to allow their fingers to work and press the button to beat everyone else who's trying to do the same thing. Now, it's an experiment right now, because we're going to see what's going to happen with the blockchain that's being utilized, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Binance, whether it's Matic or Polygon or whatever. We're going to see what's going to happen. But people have a dream, and they have the right to dream, but sometimes the dreams don't turn out the way they want, and they become nightmares very quickly, and they have nobody to blame. Because the thing about it is this, especially if those of us who've been in DeFi for years and we understand what's going on up to date in the space, we try to understand what crypto is: no third parties, immutable code, censorship resistant, permissionless, etc., etc. And we're utilizing DeFi. We see and we're waiting for better products to come out, products to come out than what we already have. Because I guess that's tied to evolution. That's tied to the certain, I guess, a collective consciousness of advancement to improve. So if that's the energy that the masses, right, the masses are connected to, Why do we as individuals fall off the wagon, so to speak, and we chase these micro opportunities that have a high chances of us to fail, that have a high chances of us to lose everything, and then we kick ourselves in the foot, we kick ourselves in the behind, wondering, wow, why did we do this? What happened? Because see, these things appeal to a certain, and I said this before already, but these things appeal to certain addictive aspects of who we are. That's why you got to know who you are. This is why this always goes back to crypto being a solo sport. It really deals with who you are and what you know and what you can understand and what you can tolerate in life. And especially in something like this that is just so ferocious, aggressive. It's dog eat dog. It's wild, wild west for real. It's just you. It's times like when these countdowns, when these timers, when it's these periods where you hear something is about to launch, that's when you know more than ever your role as a solo person interacting in this space. Right? It is at this time, it's at that time period. It will be no more clearer than that. It's already been clear, because every time you do a transaction, it's just you that's doing the transaction, but people don't think about that, right? But then when you're panicking and when you're sweating and when you're up all night or whatever hours these things launch, because that's what 2017 was about with the ICO craze, right? It's just you making the decision to do X, Y, and Z. And then you have to be good with the results. And a lot of times, if you don't see that $1 million that you're waiting for materialize, then automatically you feel like you failed. Those are some of the reasons why I don't care for the hype. I don't care for the brand new thing. It's like, it has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense in my mind, I leave it alone. Because there's so much going on personally that I'm waiting for, that many people are waiting for to happen. And for me to be distracted and take away from whatever I have to focus on to something else, with the high propensity of me not even caring to understand what Zen is about, right? So a lot of us, a lot of people, they'll say they do something, but they do something else. They'll say they're about something, but they'll do something else. And folks really don't do their research. Their research goes as far as whatever a content creator says to them. That is the truth. I've seen it. You don't have to believe me. I just know from experience and from observation. A person's research will go as far as just hearing one person on a social media platform talking about it, and then it's off to the races. That's it. And then when they lose and they get wrecked and they feel miserable, right? That type of experience, that type of feeling of despair, deep desperation, is something that could have been avoided if they just took the time to listen, to read, to study, take the time to understand what this is all about, what's taking place here, right? Because this is still new. Crypto, 14 years old? The whole industry? It's 14 years old compared to, that's nothing. It's reaching its prepubescent, puberty stages as far as, the lifespan of a human being. 14 years old, it's only a teenager. There's still so much room to grow. There's so much stuff that is going to be created, right? That we can't even fathom right now, right? So why take the risk in doing all this extra stuff when we just trying to move forward in the right way, doing the right things, understanding the cryptos that we have already, instead of just putting stuff to the side, putting whatever we understand to the side and jump on something else because it just is new. and it sounds good. We have recently been inundated. If you're in Ethereum and you've been in DeFi, we've already been just clobbered with two extra forked chains, two extra chains with copies of whatever ERC20s that we've had already. Like, we have to wrestle and deal with that and take the chance or experiment and play or whatever and take the risks involved with that. You think it's easy also now, and waiting for Pulsechain to come out? That's work in and of itself. Because why is it work? Is because this whole process of delaying gratification, right? It's something that we take for granted in a way. But let me give you an example of how we've been delaying our gratification for the longest, and we probably didn't even know it. Those of us that have been, indoctrinated in the school system. We had to delay our gratification just to complete school on whatever level, whatever milestones. Each milestone is a process of delaying gratification to reach the milestone, to accomplish certain goals, to finish school, get a diploma. If you want to pursue higher education, you complete those stages or whatever it is. That's an example of delaying your need to be instantly to satisfied right now. A lot of people, we've been so used to in certain things with crypto, it's just been like everything real quick, real quick, real quick. Right now, we can't wait. We're impatient, right? It has to be right now or forget it. And then oftentimes, those are when the biggest and greatest mistakes occur, is when we are impatient, when we want to be satisfied right now. We want to get paid right now, and the crazy part about it that's different. For example, when you're staking crypto, like with Hex, yes, Hex is paying an average of 6 Hex every day per T-share. We know that's 3 cents. What, 18 cents? Let's just estimate 20 cents a day. That sounds like nothing, but it's 20 cents a day more than what many people will ever have each day that you're receiving. 20 cents worth of crypto that at one point will elevate in price, in value, right? Even in quantity. But you have to work to get to that point. You have to work on yourself. When they talk about self-development, if I decide, you know what, I don't want to drink soda anymore. You know what, I need to exercise more. You know what, I need to eat better. You know what, I need to take care of myself. That's a form of delaying your gratification, because you know at some point while you're working hard today, you will prosper tomorrow, right? While you're working hard today, you're studying, you're exercising, you're just in this mode of developing yourself right now and consistently. In the end, you will be rewarded, whatever that means to you, whatever that end may be, whatever that, goal, whatever time that is. Whenever you reach that outcome, you will be rewarded. And it's the same thing with what we're doing here. But my thing is this: if I'm already exercising, I'm doing my Hex exercises, right? I'm doing my Pulsechain exercises without expecting any profit from the expectation of the unexpected and all that magical talk, to avoid scrutiny from these regulatory bodies. If I'm doing a Pulse X exercise, if I'm doing Hedron, Icosa, Maximus, Polyamorous Maximus exercises, perpetual exercises, I'm good. My bags are full, right? Like my plate is already full. I don't need to add more tokens that could very well be great, but it takes away from my focus and my concentration, and it weakens if I divert my attention elsewhere. Then where does that leave what I'm really sacrificing? Where does that leave the attention for what got me to this point? That's why I understand where Hex OGs get upset when people don't talk about Hex as much anymore, because Hex has been their exercise. Hex has gotten them to be financially fit. But if I'm dealing with a bunch of different tools in the gym and I don't know what I'm doing, right? If I'm dealing with a bunch of different tools in the gym, oh look, there's a new machine right here, and it could help me do this. And meanwhile, I was already working on 100 different sets, doing all types of reps, doing whatever. I had a regimen together, a regimen of crypto together. And now I want to divert and do something else and just be focused on that. What happens to my regimen that got me to where I am today? It suffers. Something always suffers. That's why balance is also important. But there's only so much that you could have on your plate. There's only so much. We have a excuse me. We have a lot right now. We have a lot right now. Those of us that have been in Ethereum, just by virtue of Ethereum alone. Excuse me, for you to utilize Hex, you have to work with Ethereum, the blockchain, because Hex is on Ethereum. It's going to be forked with Pulsechain. We know this, and then whole duplication of everything, just like everything on Ethereum was duplicated in those other two fork chains. I mean, our plate is beyond full, right? It's beyond full. I don't need to add more. I need to master what I already have. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not about being a jack of all trades and a master of none. You understand? Because then I'm playing myself like a video game, which is unhealthy. You know, I might as well walk in a casino and just pick whatever. I pick red here. I do a slot machine there. I'm going to play cards over there. And then come out with less than what I came in. Or maybe that one chance out of 100 that I might see something might be either I come out whole or in profit. Instead of just focusing on one thing, mastering, or one basket of things. Why keep adding to your basket? Whatever it is. That's why I'm not crazy about, concentrating on anything new right now. We have so much going on. We have so much going on. If you're in Hex and you're staking Hex, you're earning Hedron. If you want it, it's there for you. You didn't have to even buy it. Your stakes are earning Hedron daily. And that's something that's powerful in and of itself if you really take the time to understand it and study it. Just like it requires a certain level of respect and merit too. You have to respect your money, respect your time, respect what you're doing. Know the value propositions of these tokens that we hold. I can't keep thinking about joining a bunch of other communities because they got great things going on. That's great for them, but we got something we got to settle. I have to remain focused. I'm serious. A dog has 4 legs, but only walks one path. A dog has 4 legs, one path. That's like me telling you, one leg is Hex, the other leg is soon to be Pulsechain, the other leg is soon to be PulseX, and the last leg is derivatives, Hex derivatives. But I'm still walking one path. Where am I going to have room to be adding something else to what I got going on? And then a year from now, 2 years from now, I'll trick myself out of the opportunity because I wasn't focused on what I already had that got me to where I was, which is now where I am now, and I feel great. And I don't want to mess that up. And I know a lot of people are in that position too, because I could see from what I see on social media, certain people could relate to what I'm saying right now. Because it's becoming like more than a full-time job. If you're looking at 30 coins a day, 30 coins a week, 30 coins a month, something is gonna suffer. Not much less, forget about your natural life. If you're looking at 30 coins, you're looking at a portfolio of 30 coins, something is going to suffer. Because we could only focus on certain things at a certain time, a certain number of things at a certain time. Some people say they could multitask. Me, I have a problem walking and chewing gum. I know my limits. I know my limits. But when I create content and I'm speaking about certain things with crypto, I just try to share information in a way that it could probably make sense. It translates over to someone who's listening where they can see, okay, this might make sense to, you take what works for you and you leave the rest. But hopefully it's sound and it has some type of merit and is logical and has some type of value, because time is precious. Time is something that we can't get back. You understand? So we use it wisely. Now we have things that actually pay us. They pay us. We have tools available to us that monetize time. That is powerful. There's so much more people that will never understand what we're talking about right now. They just don't know what we're going through right now. As far as like DeFi, they don't have a clue. They think it's fake. They think it's a joke. They think we're wasting our time. They think it's all a scam, when we know otherwise. Sure, we know what works and what doesn't work. That's the thing about these people that come into the space and try to shill their ideas. And it's true. I heard a great content creator say, a white paper is as good as toilet paper. I don't care about anybody's white paper, and that's real. It's as good as tissue paper. What did P3D, the Team Just people, do? They wrote on some type of paper bag, wrinkled paper, and drew a snake on it, and that was the white paper. And they made a killing, and the community just ate it all up back in 2018, the summer of 2018. Because those things are smoke and mirrors. All those things are smoke and mirrors. When people present nice talk, all this stuff, it's whatever, man. It's about what are you going to do to allow yourself to also experience up and to the right. Not just in your wallets, but in your life. Up and to the right. Up and to the right. And while you're going up and to the right, you got to be focused. How can you go up and to the right and be distracted in many different areas? It won't work. It is what it is. Like I said, good luck to y'all that get into all these other things. But to me, I see it's a lot. I see it's a lot. Because if you really believe in Hex, and if you really believe in Pulsechain, and you really believe in whatever you got going on, and you waiting for the Pulsechain to come out, whatever cryptos you deal with on whatever, and you waiting for Pulsechain to come out, is because you did something, especially if you sacrifice, you did something that you never really did before in your life, right? Not to that level, because you saw what Hex did, and you don't want to miss out on another opportunity to experience what Hex brought to the people who believed in Hex. I really don't care about what these other tokens are going to do, because I know once the value proposition of Hex, Pulsechain, PulseX connects and it hits, we all win. We all win. Regardless of whatever extra tokens people try to shill and say, oh, this is better, that's better. Who cares? We all win. Once Pulsechain connects, once PulseX connects, once Hex on Pulse does its thing, and there's parity across all these chains, imagine that. We'll all have a great story to tell. We'll all have a great experience to have and to share and pass down to people who we care about. Because we're talking about 15.2 years, 7 years average, all these years long. This is pure delayed gratification. Pure delayed gratification. Years long term. We're forced to look at things from a longer term perspective. Longer term perspective here, people. People said, look, Hedron could be an opportunity for people to experience what Hex brought in 623 days. So what does that tell you? You understand? What does that tell you? And we're not talking about, we're talking about long term. It's not just about fly by night, getting rich quick overnight. The crazy thing that's happened in crypto. Look at what Shiba did. Shiba changed a bunch of things in the crypto space for many people. It was ridiculous. I remember when it was just, what, 10 zeros and a 1? Something ridiculous like that. 8 zeros and a 1. Oh, I did something crazy. But this is what crypto does. But that's not something that you should just rely on for your long-term generational wealth building, when you have products already in existence that are doing that people are working hard to do that, and you have front run the world. You and I both are front running the world. That's what it is, people. That's what it is. In any case, I'm gonna leave you all with that, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.